It began like any routine Tuesday board meeting in the quiet village of Dalton, Illinois, until Mayor Tiffany Henyard walked up to the mic, completely alone. No trustees, no quorum, just her and a spotlight. What followed was not a formal was a solo act, a fiery monologue, not aimed at the board, but at the dwindling audience. More crucially, the cameras. "This is not a Q&A, she barked. "This is me delivering my statement." Just like that, Dalton's strange political saga found its headliner. And that was only the opening act. Behind the scenes, tensions were already at a boiling point. Henyard was not just dodging scandals this time. The threat came from within her own circle. And the most devastating blow, it did not come from journalists or critics. It came from someone on the inside. A leaked video, reportedly released by her own allies, began spreading online. Some call it the biggest betrayal of 2025. Others say it is long overdue justice. Either way, one thing is clear. This twist rattled her administration to its foundation, and the chaos was only beginning. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did you see this coming? From appointing a new village administrator, an attorney, without a board vote, to bringing in her personal lawyer to scold a no-show board during a canceled meeting, Tiffany's leadership has gone from bold to downright chaotic. She appears to be unraveling, clinging to authority as it crumbles in her hands. Think that is dramatic? Stay tuned. As Henyard's grip on power weakens, the Illinois Attorney General has officially stepped in. Kwame Rao's office determined that Dalton violated the Open Meetings Act not once, but twice under her command. The reason? Village Hall was locked down, doors closed, seating restricted, and the public barred from entry. Her explanation, a handwritten note in blue marker, calling her and her mother losers. Yes, blue marker. And here is the kicker: the note surfaced after the meeting was already over. The Attorney General's office was not buying it. They called it an excessive and unwarranted reaction. But that perfectly sums up Tiffany's leadership. Extreme, erratic, and expensive. Speaking of expensive, brace yourself. After months of pushback, investigators finally secured her township credit card statements. The total, jaw-dropping $67,000 in travel expenses in just 5 months. And that is only for the township. Add in Dalton's bills, and the figure shoots past $100,000, labeled as conference travel. We are talking first-class flights and luxury accommodations, Tiffany's idea of public duty. Then there is Keith Freeman, her former right-hand Mantha, one who knew every detail. When she began to suspect he was cooperating with federal investigators, she tried to fire him on the spot, but here's the twist: the board never approved it. So while Tiffany stacked the staff with her own picks, Freeman was still officially the administrator, still inside, still watching, still dangerous. The word is, Keith has receipts, evidence that cannot be buried. Some insiders believe he already flipped, striking a deal with authorities, which could explain Tiffany's frantic effort to push him out. But, as always, her plan flopped. Imagine being in Keith's shoes. Would you keep quiet? But here's the thing: he is no saint either. Freeman is facing bankruptcy fraud charges and has been accused of retaliating against staff who refused to play along with Tiffany's agenda. Instead of backing him, she cut him loose. Classic self-preservation move, but this one blew up in her face. The moment she turned on him, he struck back. Now, lawsuits are stacking up. One employee claims she was fired for refusing to be Tiffany's puppet. Another alleges that Tiffany purposely derailed his business license out of revenge. And now enters Dwayne Thrash, the former maintenance manager. He alleges that he was forced out after he refused to help replace a school board attorney with someone more obedient. He is suing now for wrongful termination and violations of constitutional rights. See the pattern. Tiffany's time in office has become a never-ending cycle of lawsuits and political backstabbing. Every few weeks, a new betrayal, a fresh disaster, and now the residents. They have had enough, including one unexpected voice, Carmen Carroll. Once a loyal ally on the Thornton Township Board, broke ranks with a bang. "I am speaking out," she announced, "because I believe Henyard has engaged in unethical and predatory behavior." She did not hold back. She went public loudly and clearly. And she did not stop there. Carl accused Tiffany of manipulating staff, contractors, and even residents just to maintain a carefully crafted illusion of success. An illusion bankrolled by the very taxpayers who are now demanding accountability. And honestly, she might be onto something, because Tiffany's own words are now turning against her in a recent outburst. Henyard declared, "That is what all the hate is about. Your supermayor became too powerful, too fast. It would almost be if it were not so unsettling." What do you think? Is she actually buying into her own myth? And here is where things take a bizarre turn. Tiffany did not just deny Carmen's accusations, she mocked her. She gave her the nickname Lion Carl and brushed off the damning claims like it was childish gossip. But in doing that, she revealed more than she hid. In the meetings, behind closed doors, watching it all unfold. Carmen even described a moment when Tiffany pressured her to cover up a shady foundation. Fiasco by pinning the blame on someone else. Carmen refused. That was the turning point. One former employee says she got fired for refusing to cover things up. Another claims Tiffany blocked his license purely out of spite. And as for Dwayne Thrash, he alleges he was ousted for not playing along with her political charades. He's now taking legal action, suing for wrongful termination and civil rights violations. The pattern is clear. Henyard's administration has morphed into a legal battlefield, a rotating scandal wheel that never stops. And instead of stepping in to clean up the mess, it is all misdirection, empty justifications, and escalating turmoil. But the hardest hit did not come from court filings or media reports. It exploded from her own trusted circle. Carmen Carroll, once one of Tiffany Henyard's most devoted supporters, has broken ranks, and she did not hold back. "I am speaking out because I believe Henyard has acted unethically and exploited others." Her accusation that Tiffany manipulated leadership to craft a fake image of success while the residents paid the ultimate cost. And now, the quiet murmurs in Dalton have become deafening. At a recent board meeting, while Tiffany was mid-rant in another combative monologue, a voice from the crowd cut through with a thunderous claim. "We all know you are robbing us." The room froze, but Tiffany did not flinch. She doubled down, claiming she was divinely chosen and calling herself a rare breed. It felt like watching someone spiral deeper into a fantasy long past its expiration date. This was not bravery. It was full-blown delusion in real time. So where are we now? Federal investigators have honed in on Dalton like a hawk. Lawsuits are piling up like overdue debt. Loyalists are bailing. Whistleblowers are stepping forward. And the community are no longer staying silent. Still, Tiffany clings to the spotlight, her persona, her illusion, hoping the spectacle can still mask the unraveling. But the truth has escaped. The performance is over. No branding, no blame game, no reinvention can repair the damage. Henyard's empire was built on flash and fear, but now it is crumbling, betrayal by betrayal. Let me hear what you think. Is this Tiffany Henyard's curtain call? Or is a bigger shock still to come? Also, here's my official announcement. I am running for mayor of Dalton this February. A storm is brewing and someone has to face it head-on. If nothing else, we need to make sure the next crisis does not get swept under the rug. Everything flipped on what seemed like a typical Tuesday in Dalton, Illinois. What should have been a routine board meeting veered into the bizarre when Tiffany Henyard appeared solo. No trustees, no quorum, just Tiffany and a mic. What followed was not governance, it was theater. She stared into the camera, ignoring the citizens, and declared, "This is not a Q&A. This is me giving my statement." In that moment, standard procedure gave way to staged performance. And this, it was just the prelude. Behind the scenes, it was boiling over. Henyard was not just dodging media bullets, she was under fire from her own camp. The most explosive blow did not come from reporters or oversight agencies. Came via a leaked video, allegedly from one of her closest allies. It spread like wildfire. Some called it the biggest political betrayal of 2025. Others said it was karma. Either way, it shattered her image, and it was only the first strike. Were you expecting this? Share your reaction. From sidelining the board to install her own attorney and administrator, to blindsiding trustees with private counsel during a canceled session, Tiffany's tactics have become increasingly erratic, more reckless with each move. It feels like she is clinging to power, even as it slips from her grasp like dry sand through open fingers. And if you think that sounds wild, brace yourself. The Illinois Attorney General has stepped in. Kwame Raoul's office confirmed that Dalton broke the Open Meetings Act not once, but twice both, in June and July. The reason? Under Henyard's watch, Village Hall became a fortress, locked entrances, restricted seating, residents shut out. Her justification? A crude, handwritten note in blue marker, mocking her and her mother. Yes, blue marker, and get this, the letter was found after the meetings had already ended. The AG's office was not buying it. Their report called the lockdown an excessive and paranoid response, and honestly, that sums up Henyard's entire leadership style: extreme, controlling, and reckless with public resources. Every time criticism lands, she does not self-reflect, she strikes back, isolates, spends more, shuts the public out, rather than owning up. Now let us follow the money. Investigators finally reviewed her township credit card records, and what they found was jaw-dropping. In just 5 months, she burned through $67,000 in travel charges for the township alone. Add in the Village of Dalton spending, and the total topped $100,000. Her defense: conferences. But really, since when did civil service demand luxury hotels and first-class flights? Now enter Keith Freeman, Tiffany's once right-hand man. He was part of every deal, every decision. But when Tiffany started thinking he was working with investigators, she tried to cut ties. But here's the twist: the board never formally approved his firing. So even as Tiffany hired new loyalists, Freeman technically retained his position. And that meant one thing: full access. Word is, he has receipts, the kind that speak for themselves, but do not crown Freeman a hero just yet. He has his own mountain of issues: bankruptcy, fraud, retaliation, and a backlog of legal complaints. Still, the same Tiffany who once protected him turned against him on a dime. Tossed him aside like dead weight. A classic political betrayal, one that spectacularly backfired. It was the last straw. Freeman flipped. Now, 3 lawsuits are pummeling her administration, each chipping away at the already shattered image of transparency and control. And perhaps the most unsettling part, Carmen might be telling the truth, because Henyard's own speeches are now more revealing than she likely intends. In one of her most bizarre rants, she declared, "That's what all the hate is about. Your super mayor became too powerful too quick." It sounds ridiculous until you realize it is not just arrogance. It is a glimpse into someone who may be losing their grip on reality. The real question is, does she truly believe what she is saying? Or is she just trying to convince herself? And now, it gets downright surreal. Tiffany did not just deny Carmen's allegations, she laughed them off, mocked her with the nickname Lion Carl, reducing it all to petty drama. But that jab exposed a deeper truth: Carmen was once on the inside. She knew the talking points, knew the secrets. She was even asked to lie to cover up a shady foundation scandal, and when she refused, the whole facade started to crumble. Dalton is not whispering anymore. The silence has shattered. At a recent board meeting, in the middle of one of Tiffany's fiery rants, a resident rose and declared, "The people already know you're stealing from them." The tension was electric. But Tiffany did not retreat. She leaned in harder. Claimed divine purpose, called herself rare and one of a kind. It no longer felt like leadership. It felt like a train wreck in slow motion, broadcast for all to see. This is not governance. It is a public UNRA, VELLING. So, what is the current state of play? We are watching a political collapse in real time, federal scrutiny intensifying, legal threats stacking up, former insiders turning on her, and the public growing louder by the day. And yet, Tiffany clings to her platform, her persona, her fantasy, convinced the spotlight can shield her from the fallout. But the damage, it is already done. The illusion has shattered. No slogan, no photo op, no scapegoat can erase what is now out in the open. Tiffany Henyard's regime was crafted on control, intimidation, and illusion. And now, that illusion is falling apart by crack, betrayal by betrayal. So the big question are we watching the final act of Tiffany Henyard's story? Or is an even bigger twist just ahead? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what is really going on, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. Because trust me, this saga, it is far from over.